back again, guys, and today we got a pretty cool one. As you guys know, about a week or so ago I did the review and the test of the new Big Jeff audio lithium car audio battery, and I had a lot of guys ask me how is it compared to the Down4Sound LTO 6.0, and I didn't really have anything to say because I never tried or tested the Down4Sound battery. So I went ahead and picked up a new one, and this is going to be fun because I'm kind of curious too what it puts out and how these two compare. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put them under load. We're going to do a 12 volt test and see how many amperage they can provide, as well as go down to 10 volts. Now I'm going to have them pre-charged on the same charger. I'm not going to have a charger on when testing. I'm going to use them standalone just so you guys can get an idea of what these batteries just by themselves can put out. So now the Big Jeff battery is a little larger, and it weighs 7 pounds versus the 4 pounds 3 ounces that the Down4Sound battery weighs. Also, as you can see, the Big Jeff battery is a little bit bigger, coming in at 7 1/4 inches by 6 inches tall by 3.6 inches wide, whereas of the Down4Sound is 7 1/4 inches long, 4 1/4 tall by 3.5 inches wide. And they're actually the same length. It looks like the Down4Sound is shorter, but these round parts basically stick out about 1/4 of an inch, so it makes the length overall the same. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to charge these up, both using the same charger, so that way it's identical, and we'll see how they do. Also, I just wanted to note, both of these batteries give you specs on basically how many watts they can handle, but those are just a general idea. You have to use your full electrical system, your alternator output, and everything, because that will change it. So the Down4Sound says 3,000 to 5,000 watts, and the Big Jeff says 4,000 to 6,000 watts. But again, that's just a guideline. It all depends on your electrical. If you have a decent output electrical and good wiring, then it's going to be more. If you have a tiny 100 amp alternator and not very good wiring, then it's going to be less. So it's just a general rule. Don't go and buy any of these and try to put 5,000 on it if you just have a 100 amp alternator and no other electrical upgrades, and same goes for the Big Jeff battery. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and get started and see how these batteries compare. Okay, and both of these were charged on the same charger. I waited 30 minutes after they were charged, and so I can check the resting voltage. So the Down4Sound is resting at 13.4 volts after fully charged. Okay, and the Big Jeff battery is resting at 13.7 volts. So that resting voltage is a little bit higher on the Big Jeff audio battery than the Down4Sound. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the tests. Okay, 12 volt test on the Down4Sound battery. So 126 amps at 12 volts. So if you guys are trying to keep above 12 volts, obviously you need to include your electrical charging system voltage on that. But that's what it's going to be putting out, at 12 volts. All right, let's go ahead and get the Big Jeff battery up for the 10 volt test. All right, 12 volts, Big Jeff battery. $139.7 amps at 12 volts. Alright, first up, 10 volt test on the Down4Sound battery, and I'll try to get it as close as possible. So 310.7 amps. Now I did the 10 volt test because that's where a lot of AGMs and a lot of other batteries are rated to, down to 10 volts. Most car audio guys, they want to stay above that but I'm just going to do that test as well as the 12 volt test to see what these batteries provide at those 2 voltages. Alright, so next up, Big Jeff audio battery 10 volt test. So we got about 554 amps at 10 volts. So that's pretty good. That's a lot of power. If you look at that in watts, with box rise, a 5K amplifier will probably pull about maybe 400 amps with box rise. That's not on the dyno, so I mean, that's putting out really good power. And just a side note for any of you guys that watched my last Big Jeff audio battery test and you guys say, hey Vector, it put out less power in your last video. Well, that's because the last video I just used the analog gauges on this battery tester. So I don't know how 100% accurate they are. If you're doing the same battery and comparing, it's fine because it's the same tester. But this time I used the two, $700 a piece fluke meters, so we got more precise. So just to let you guys know, if you guys watched the other video, it's just because I didn't use the digital meters, and this time I did. Alright, well that was a pretty fun test. I was super curious myself. I know a lot of you guys asked me or which one's better, because these are kind of real similar price. The Down4Sound I think is usually $3.99. The Big Jeff is about $4.50. I'll buy any sales going on right now because it's a holiday or tax time sale. I see a lot of those going on. So pricing, they're pretty similar. The Big Jeff's a little bit more. And on the 12 volt test, they weren't too far off. The Down4Sound did 126.6 amps at 12 volts. And the Big Jeff did 139.7 amps at 12 volts. So the Big Jeff did do 11% more output at 12 volts. But where the big difference was the 10 volt test. And again, 10 volt and even 9 volt is where most of the battery companies rate their output power. I just like to do the 12 volt test because a lot of guys want to stay at 12 volts just to see what it puts out. But on the 10 volt test, the Down4Sound did 310.7 amps, which is still pretty good, man, for a battery this small. But the Big Jeff did 554.7 amps at 10 volts. Oh, yeah. So that's a 79% increase. So that's almost 80%. That's getting near double the power at 10 volts. So I'll leave that, guys, up to you. I just had guys asking me, and I was curious as I never tried one of those Down4Sound LTO 6.0s. But as you can see, the Big Jeff did put out a lot more power, and it's a little bit more money. It's not even that much more. But if you guys are cramped on space, the Down4Sound is smaller. Both of them did really well. Neither of them got hot. Neither of them got hot while charging. So they both recovered fairly quickly after the tests. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this helped you out. As with this video, if you guys got any suggestions, always let me know. I can't do everything, but I try my best to get to the bottom and test things that you guys ask me to. So thanks so much, guys. And if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And until next time.